He owned millions, but lived like a beggar. Everyone thought he was poor. They judged his clothes. They judged his food. They judged his life. The nurse opened his wallet and froze. Not because it was empty, but because it was full of cash. Hundreds. Folded neatly. Stacked carefully. She looked at the man on the hospital bed. Thin. Weak. Dressed like a beggar. And whispered, "This man is rich." Every morning at 5:10 a.m., he walked the same street. Same jacket. Same shoes. Same slow steps. No car. No phone calls. People avoided him. Some felt sorry for him. Some laughed. To them, he was just another poor immigrant. But the truth? This man, Chukwudi Okonkwo, owned 7 businesses. 7. And yet, he lived like he owned nothing. At the corner store, the cashier already knew. 1 loaf of cheap bread. 1 can of sardines. Sometimes, just bread. One day the cashier asked, "Sir, don't you get tired of this food?" Chukwudi paused. Counted his coins. Then said nothing. Because hunger was easier than explaining fear. In his shops, workers whispered, "That man is too stingy. He's rich but acts broke." Lights couldn't stay on too long. Chairs couldn't be replaced. Nothing was ever urgent. One manager finally asked, "Boss, why don't you enjoy your money?" Chukwudi answered quietly, "Because enjoyment lies." He wasn't born stingy. He was trained by hunger. At 10 years old, his family lost everything in Nigeria. One night, his mother divided 1 cup of rice among 5 children. She gave him the smallest share. When he complained, she said, "You are the man. You must survive." That sentence never left him. One winter evening, he slipped on ice. People walked past. Some thought he was drunk. Some thought he was homeless. At the hospital, doctors ran tests. Then stopped. This man wasn't just injured. He was malnourished. A millionaire. Starving himself. When he collapsed, no alarms went off. No assistant rushed in. No family was called. No emergency contact existed. And when doctors tried to access his records, they discovered something unsettling. While he lay unconscious in a hospital bed, his businesses froze. Not because money was missing. Not because of fraud. But because only one person had access to everything. Him. No passwords shared. No second signature. No contingency plan. A man who trusted no one. Had built a life that depended only on him. For 3 days, no one knew whether his shops would open again. Suppliers waited. Workers panicked. Bills stalled. And no one could reach the owner. Because the owner was lying in a hospital bed. Too weak to lift his head. When he finally woke up, the room was quiet. Machines beeped. Curtains fluttered. His mouth was dry. The doctor leaned in and asked gently, "Do you know where you are?" Chukwudi nodded. Then he asked one question. Not about his health. Not about how long he had been unconscious. Not about whether he almost died. "Are my shops okay?" The doctor paused. "They are fine," he said slowly. "But you won't be if you keep living like this." That's when it happened. Chukwudi cried. Not loudly. Not dramatically. But honestly. Tears slid down his face as he whispered something that shocked everyone in the room. I was saving money for a future. I didn't believe I would live long enough to enjoy. That was the truth he had never said out loud. He didn't buy luxury cars. He didn't move into a mansion. He didn't travel. Not because he was disciplined, but because he was afraid. Afraid that if he relaxed, everything would collapse. Afraid that comfort would make him weak. Afraid that spending money meant inviting disaster. So he survived. He ate the cheapest food, wore threadbare clothes, worked non-stop. Not to grow wealthy, but to feel safe. After that day, he changed. Quietly. He didn't announce a transformation. He didn't post motivation quotes. He didn't rebrand his life. But he started eating real food. He bought warm clothes. He rested. And every Sunday, he ate meat. Just a little. Enough to remind himself he was still alive. Months later, a video went viral. An old African man entering a soup kitchen. People laughed in the comments. Another homeless man, they said. Until the caption appeared. They thought he was homeless. He owns half the block. Millions watched. But one comment stopped people cold. Some people don't hoard money. They hoard safety. And suddenly, everything made sense. Not everyone who looks poor is broke. And not everyone who is rich feels safe. Some people survive for so long. They forget how to live. And sometimes, the most dangerous poverty is not hunger. It's fear. So ask yourself, if you were rich, would you live like this? Or would you finally allow yourself to enjoy the life you fought so hard to protect? If you enjoy emotional, real-life inspired stories about hidden struggles, survival, and uncomfortable truths, subscribe for more. Because the next story might look ordinary. Until you see what's really underneath. Money can protect you. But it cannot replace living. Security is important. Discipline matters. But a life spent only preparing for disaster often becomes a disaster itself. If your entire life is about not losing, you may never experience having. True wealth is not what you store away. It is what allows you to rest, to eat, to breathe, to trust. Because in the end, money you never enjoy still costs you everything. And the greatest risk is not spending too much. It is surviving so long that you forget why you wanted to live at all. Please do well to leave a like. Thank you.